create a lot of untitled documents. Though some are just misclicks when I'm trying to find stuff, a lot of them are creative sparks that I never really fleshed out into full ideas. I like to think I'm a pretty creative person, but when I actually think about it, I don't have any real work to show for. A lot of my creativity goes towards ideas that never come to fruition. I actually think this is a pretty common situation for creatives. You have an idea that you want to explore, you write that idea down in a notes app, and a few words of expansion later you hop on Valorant and forget you ever thought that idea was worth writing about. I want to provide some insight on this idea and my take on how to push through these initial sparks and actually create things that you can show for yourself. There are so many reasons why creative pussyfooting can put a hold on your work. For one, it could be the perspective that what you're creating is work, but also not worth your time. Creative things take lots and lots of time investment and usually don't have a return on said investment. So logically, your brain might reject putting a lot of energy into something that is classified as work that you're not getting anything in return for. My simple answer to this would be no, stop, just don't play that game, but this is a legitimate problem for some people. My real answer for someone struggling with this is to decrease distractions. If your friend wants you to jump online or your family wants to go somewhere, create a time and a space that you can go and just work on ideas. If your friends play games in the afternoon, wake up early and work on being creative in the morning. You'll find that with no one pushing you towards getting distracted, you'll have a lot more motivation to get things done. I like to set virtual deadlines for myself, such as submit this video for uploading by 9 so that I actually have to focus on getting it done. This deterrent could be a big one for some people, but easy enough to overcome if you put in the effort. Another more complex psychological reason could be fear. Alongside a lot of my untitled unfinished documents, I also have a lot of untitled unmastered documents. My reasoning for not releasing any of these pieces is because of the fear that people might not like it, or that I won't be proud of what I release because it lacks quality that I won't see until hindsight. This one is huge and honestly irrational, so here's a shout out to any struggling artist who suffers from this deterrent. If you're a small artist who made a collection of work that you don't feel comfortable releasing because you don't want it to be your Confessions of a Dangerous Mind or any Weezer album, let go of that fear as soon as possible, because here is the fact in and of itself. Nothing you put out right now is going to be good, but putting out nothing is going to be way worse for you. Kendrick's first mixtapes are so bad, but the man made To Pimp a Butterfly 12 years later. If you ever want to be a good artist or feel as if you're progressing as a creative person, you need to put out work despite the fear that people might not like it. I'm not saying release every piece of shit you create, but if something's finished and you've checked off all the boxes, don't be afraid to just put that thing on SoundCloud or YouTube and have something to show for. One subsidiary idea that I want to put out there is to think a lot about your role as a content consumer as opposed to a content creator. One of the thoughts that made me change my perspective on releasing my work was that if I spend half of the time I do watching YouTube videos or lurking Twitch streams, I can honestly put out a video every day. I won't touch too much on this, but really consider how much content you consume as opposed to create, because that might just be enough to scare you into creating more. I don't have much else to say about this, but this idea of untitled documents is what inspired me to start working and releasing as much content as I can. When I'm 90 years old and I look back on my life, I don't want it to be 30 years of me playing League of Legends, sleeping, and studying for something I don't even want to do. When I'm 90 years old, I don't want to have all of these unfinished ideas in my head that I never ended up creating. When I'm 90 years old, I don't want my life to become an untitled document. Thanks for listening to this video. Goodbye.